these people literally keep projecting, and Grand Rising. Welcome back to another day of Vlogmas. Let's hop into the juicy morning tea. It's almost Christmas time. What's the juicy morning tea? Collective. Okay. Archangel Jeremiah. Okay. Children. Heart chakra activation. Gemini. Empire Reloaded. And then we have the letter D. Okay. So something that you've you recently communicated recently, it showed your compassion and your ability to achieve compassion and empathy. Some of you guys have been dealing with a situation. These children, these could be children, these could literally be your haters. These people are very discouraged and troubled. And a lot of them have Peter Pan syndrome, and a lot of them cannot evolve and grow up. They let feelings of abandonment stifle their maturation process. Some of these people, this is a wounding about their D, okay? Some of these are men who have inferiority complexes, but some of them, this is totally not a representation of reality. Their D is not a problem. Some of them, they having this inner child issue. Maybe something traumatizing happened to them when they were a child. Maybe they actually, like I said, they do have sexual trauma, admonished sexuality, repressed sexuality. Something inappropriate could have happened to their D when they were a child, okay? Some of these people, they could be having sexual dysfunction, or they could be having, which a type of sexual dysfunction could be erectile dysfunction. But I feel like for a lot of you guys, these are children who have, these can be men or women, who have it's like something where they've realized, the juicy tea on you is that you've been able to achieve compassion and empathy for these people, especially after staying intellectually inclined about the situation. I'm hearing something where you're gathering a lot of information and seeking change in this situation. You are responsible as the Empire. You are responsible for communicating, these hopeful messages to these discouraged and troubled children, these people who are underdeveloped, these people who let feelings of rejection and abandonment stifle their maturation, these people who have dysfunctional relationships. Seeing your life of the party is hard because these people feel very underdeveloped. They feel like you being the life of the party represents your great communication skills. It represents you searching for information. It represents you making a lot of different social connections and being intellectually inclined, and shows that some of you guys, it shows that you have a masculine. I don't know, like, I've been thinking about this. Y'all can let me know how y'all feel about this, but I think it's really only after getting a male influence, getting a male influences or getting activated by divine masculine energy, where the divine feminine feels comfortable to express this way. You are becoming fully embodied, and it is after the activation of the divine masculine. So this situation, people know that, like, You being this quick learner, you being this great communicator, this version of you that shows up now with all this compassion and empathy, they know that it is a reflection of your divine masculine. They know that all this information that you have is a representation of your male influences and how they've shaped and molded your personality, how they have provided logic, strength, support, how they have been providing information, telling you what to do, wisdom, and they know that you are like the life of the party representing this masculine energy that has made you fully embodied. Okay, they see that your ability to achieve compassion and empathy with your masculine has helped you extend an open heart to these wicked children who have really just been working through something subconscious and not really understanding their inner child woundings. And so a lot of y'all are coming in as the life of the party, showing your big open heart, showing that you forgive these people if they have been acting from this subconscious fears. Okay, something that you've done to transmute negativity in this situation, have given people hope. Okay, I'm also getting there's something where you will need to address these shadows. Don't shy away from the conflict, or don't shy away from these difficult conversations. You are the life of the party, which means this you are the center of attention. So you might as well talk about something meaningful, friend. With Gemini energy, you might as well talk about something meaningful, and making these social connections also helps you gather information. So don't be afraid to talk to people and find a shared value, find a difference in value, find something, see yourself acting from your inner child, especially, in the socializing. People see that like you did not start socializing, or you did not, break outside of your shell until you got married, or until this divine masculine came in and made a big change in your life. Okay, some people are saying that you've been with this person since you were a child, since you were young, and that this was a whole journey of where you both may have been discouraged and troubled, but you have been able to achieve compassion and empathy and get information to break free from this negative judgment that you've had of the self and of others. They see that recently you have increased your stability in your marriage, or increased your stability in this role that you play as the life of the party. I know it might be difficult, but some of you guys, this is new to you, breaking outside of your shell, and this is occurring after a divine masculine made a big change in your life. This is after you've been, you've been maybe in your shell, and there's been this masculine energy that has been protecting you, and have given you, have created a sense of safety for you. And so some people don't know this. So I think that your messages that you are communicating that are hopeful to these discouraged and troubled people show that you have a greater connection to this man. For one, some of them, it shows that you have a heightened sensitivity with them. They see that you have been releasing emotions about them, and they see that after dealing with this male, like after achieving wisdom or compassion with this masculine energy, that you have just been seeing yourself and connecting to everything that you encounter. Your sensitivity was heightened. This person really put you in your soft, state, is what I'm hearing. The GCT on you is that you're in your soft state, friend. From getting access to a greater fundamental reality with this person. And growing from when you were a child, and being able to see that grief-stricken inner child in others as well. Okay, it's, your communication, just keep communicating, and everybody will start to soften their resistance, I think. And this is how you're reloaded, is that you're like, when the Matrix tries to reload and tries to persist a conflict or do something jealous, catty, and manipulative, you come in with some hopeful communications to discourage and trouble people, and helping them achieve compassion and empathy. I'm also hearing something recently where you share something intimate and it helped break away some type of fear of intimacy or something like that. Okay, something where this is a fear of intimacy, but they see that since getting married or since getting this, experiencing this big change from this divine masculine or something like that, that you've been intimate all over, and okay, I'm here. You've been so sensitive, and experiencing oneness with everything that you encounter. Okay, some of you guys, you will need to address this conversation about someone's inferiorities or someone. There is healing that needs to be done, and this is around inner child wounds. So just hold a lot of compassionate space, not just for your partner, but for yourself and for everyone at the social gathering that you're at, and just tell everyone to stay open to receiving information that will heal them, that will make them feel, that will help them feel more connected to everything that there is, so that their heart isn't blocked by this negativity. Okay, so these are deep rejection and abandonment wounds that are creating the illusion, like this creating the painful ending, that's creating the illusion of separation. Okay, some of these people, they just see your marriage, or they just see your family in this reunion that you've had since you were a child, and they just get so mad, and you just look, y'all, don't be mad at my relationship that I've been in since I was a child, because this is not for the faint of heart. Some of y'all have went through many changes since you were a child, and there has been a lot of ups and downs in this relationship, and there's been a lot of you needing to get information, and there's been a lot of you guys needing to, a lot of you guys feeling discouraged and troubled, and you had to keep your heart intact with one another. People see this relationship or see this art that you guys have created with one another, or see this big party, and they see that you were the life of the party, but this is literally your job. Okay, some of y'all, it's your job to make people happy. It's your job to break free from these discouraged and troubled feelings. It's your job to be intimate. It's your job to have compassion and empathy for people, to give them the information so that they can soften this resistance with the illusion of separation. Okay, especially those who have been inferior about their organ, and that goes for women too. These are women coming around. They don't have hips. They don't have a small waist. They don't have, curviness. They don't have, some of them organ inferiority complexes. They don't have breast, or they don't have, they feel like they don't have a big D or something like that. And y'all, let everybody know that these are your inner child wounds that you have not resolved. Okay, find a partner that matches your temperament, and you will have a deep intimacy. Okay, stop trying to, I think that really people see this relationship and they just project picture perfect, and you're like, look, this is far from perfect. Okay, so yeah, I think that this the juicy tea, Fred, is that, let people know, we having this big party, and it's just so that we can be connected to everything that there is, friend. Okay. Some men who see you getting in a relationship, they're like, oh, I saw you when you were a child, and now you're in this relationship. And you're just like, look, they feel like, oh, they weren't the one to activate you the most or something like that, that they feel like they weren't the most divine masculine, but they were unhealed masculine energy, and they see that you were able to achieve compassion and empathy for them, because some of them, you were just there for sex. Some of them, it was just, you just wanted the D or something like that, or you didn't want the D. Either way, these are people who could have felt very rejected about their D, and some of them, they had unrealistic expectations of you. Y'all been having sacred sexuality since getting activated by a divine masculine that you met when you were a child. Okay, this person has been increasing your feelings of safety, protecting you, giving you financial rewards, making you artwork, and some of them, they've seen you out, and you've just been highly sensitive since getting activated by them. And some of them, like I don't know what happened. This will be different for everyone, but this feels like a situation where this relationship needs a heart chakra unblocking, because this person has a deep rejection and abandonment wound from when you guys were children. Now, it is no doubt about it that you guys are bound and tied at the conjoined at the waist. But I feel like this situation, you need to have a lot of conversation with this person about some type of deep rejection and abandonment issue that they've been having when something happened at the beginning of your relationship, or when they were a child, when you guys were children, and helping them understand that they need to break free from this discouraged and troubled and outdated belief system or negative thought pattern. Okay. They had unrealistic expectations of you. Maybe they were expecting commitment. Maybe they were expecting you to marry them when you were a child. Maybe they just weren't expecting you to have other intimate relationships. And you are having other intimate relationships, and this makes them feel very rejected and abandoned. Because they internalized it around their organ. But some of you guys are showing this person that you were a child and you had no business, doing a lot of this, like all of this, sex and stuff like that you were doing, and that it was just you being highly sensitive and you feeling a connection to everything that you encounter. And it wasn't about you chasing some big D, or it wasn't about you chasing something else. It wasn't that you didn't want them. It's just that some of them, they were unreal, or like they had some toxic expectations to marry, and you hadn't, like they hadn't taken enough actions, or they were very immature about their approach to the situation as well. Maybe there was a lot of poor communication between the two of you, and this led to you guys separating and going to have other relationships, so that you can unblock and find the communication that you needed to resolve an inner child issue. Okay, and increase your feelings of safety and security so that you don't project those issues into your relationship. So let's get some tarot. Okay, I think that this situation is healing. This person is healing because they saw you having intimate relationships with other people, but some of you guys are showing them that those were just not. Those were just some. I don't know, something where you were. I don't want to say you dreamed for people, but it was. I think that they were just relationships that you encountered where you were projecting your dreams onto other people. And it was because your communication with each other was so poor. It's not a doubt without it that you guys you activated a big open heart with one another. But this, since getting activated, this has literally opened your heart so much that it has helped you work through your past life memories, or work through something that had inner child issues that have been making you feel discouraged and troubled. And so this, sometimes it's not, it's, you'll project those deep wounds onto other people, and those relationships just reflect you gathering information, you connecting with others, their social connections. Like, even if you were intimate with them, some of you guys realized that they were not the right fit, and they were just like you projecting your dream. Some of you guys, you literally had a vision of your dream, and this was a spiritual union. This is something I think that you and this person really need to release the toxic expectations. You guys have been together since you were children, or since or maybe there was something where you had a vision, but you were not clear of where your spiritual union was. This is a deep, deep intimacy, okay? I don't want you to ever forget that. This is a deep intimacy, and even if you guys are in separation in the physical realities, or you're off exploring another option because of an open relationship, it is literally you exploring a chakra activation that you receive from one another, where you both made your dream come true. And since making each other's dream come true, you have been exploring other options. I think that this is particularly about you though, friend. Some of them, they see that since receiving their safety and security, you have been projecting your dreams onto other people, and it's really been them, okay? And they internalize this around their D, but I think that this was really you just being highly sensitive. You being highly sensitive to everything that you encounter, and sometimes you got caught up in investing poorly or projecting, because you were working through some inner child stuff. Okay, this was not like you were literally a child. You were not in control. you had a, I feel like a lot of this was you seeking inappropriate surrogate families and projecting your dream. You have been coming out of these illusions and realizing, your empire has recently reloaded because you've got the information that you've needed to discern your true dream and who you're actually collaborating with. Okay, so I think the UCT on you is that these men from your past, they just feel like the unhealed masculine energy that you were projecting your dreams onto. And they see someone, the juicy tea, after all that, is that like they see that you've actually found the one that you are fulfilling your dream with. And they feel like they were inappropriate for you. They're internalizing this a lot. Some of them feel like it was about their deed, but then you're showing them like this, it's not about your deed, friend, okay? It's about having a mutual dream. It's about encountering a sense, feeling connected to one another when you otherwise did not have it. Like some of you, this was someone that you met when you were very lonely and disconnected. And this finding each other and getting connected with one another was the best thing that ever happened for both of you. You were not just the only person that was lucky to get activated by them. They were lucky to find you as well because it helped them access a fundamental truth. It helped them heal an inner child wound that they have been projecting, deep insecurity that they have not been able to get over. And they can never even imagine that somebody like you could love them and vice versa. So both of you need to get over it. You've both been very discouraged and troubled. You both are insecure. It's not about sex or anything superficial or materialistic. It's literally about just yearning for connection. Okay? And seeing how some of your desperate behavior to connect with the heart chakra activation has been a projection of your dream, or there's been a stressful problem that you guys have not been able to resolve, or it has literally just been a learning lesson, and you seeing that it was, helping you realize and discern why it's inappropriate, so that you can have a sense of security, okay, and not be searching, right? Yeah, I'm definitely getting this is a spiritual union. Like the high priestess, you and this person have been tethered at the hip since you were a child, and all these other, I think that you've just been needing to work through feeling too discouraged and troubled and projecting everything. Okay, that's the separation. You keep projecting, your inner child wounds. Yeah, this is a conflict with this person that has been getting resolved. Okay, because of the communications of hopeful messages, you cannot continue to be in conflict with each other and with the world. This is not your spiritual purpose to be fighting. Your spiritual purpose involves, like, some of you guys, you have a dream together and you have not lost touch with your dream. And I'm also getting that, these people who have been conflicting with you have been making it hard for you to feel like chasing your dream. Like some of these like energy vampires, they're chronic complaining about you, and they're codependency on you for your psychic survival is blocking and draining your life force energy, draining your vision, and making you fatigued and ill. And so this person has also been, achieving compassion for you, and that you've been discouraged around this conflict, where the matrix keeps doing something jealous, catty, and manipulative. But I think that ultimately you are resolving these conflicts with these people, because a lot of these people are children and they were just discouraged and troubled, and you just showing them your intimacy with your partner and letting them know that this is not something that you should be competing for. You will never have this intimacy because of this bounding that you have with this partner. It's never, they will never have an intimacy like you. Okay, so I think that that's also helping them resolve their inner child issues, and helping them realize that you're just vying for an inappropriate relationship. Like, stop feeling rejected and abandoned when it's literally just not your dream. It's not your relationship. You're not intimate. You're just trying to compete for sex, money, and power. Okay, these children, this is what, I think that helping them realize their projections of their inner child issues to compete for the lowest aspects of union, sex, money, and power, when really this is a deep, deep intimacy where you guys have now been able to experience connection to everything that there is after spending most of your life in childhood not being connected, okay? And so helping people share your intimacy with your friends and people who are watching you and other men, and help them understand that this rejection that you're sending them is not because of how they look or sex. It's literally because you've been bound to somebody since you were a child. It's not about their deed. It's about this deep intimacy that you have. And a lot of you guys are open, and you guys have friends, and these people, I think that people just want to evade boundaries in marriages or in committed relationships because they don't have a sense of security at home. They don't have committed relationships, and these people will come around and they will try to do everything possible to break up a relationship. And this is because they really, really feel abandoned and rejected from seeing you. And just like, I think that you are just like, look, stop being mad about somebody else's relationship that is just not aligned for you in the first place. You'll never find fulfillment in this relationship because it's not for you, okay? And these are just children who have felt like they have not gotten a sense of expression, or they haven't been able to be the life of the party like you, and they feel like it's all because of this masculine that did this for you, that gave you this empire or something like that, okay? And you were quick, something where you guys quickly became prominent figures in a community, okay? I feel like ultimately though, you and this partner have had conflict and sharing about your relationship and how it's not perfect and how it doesn't mean that you don't feel connected to other people and other things, right? It just means that this is the person that I'm bound to. Something like that. Something where you're like, this is a relationship that helped me work through my fears of intimacy, okay? So I think the juicy morning tea is that all these children keep conflicting with you because they see your relationship and they see you as the life of the party, and they just feel so stunted and feel like they haven't found their family yet, and feel like they won't find their family, and oh, I got all these inner child issues around my body image, and and you're just like, look, keep going, keep growing. You need to continue to achieve compassion and empathy for others before you can have a kind of relationship like this, okay? Some of these people are high or on a drug, and they just feel so discouraged, okay? But you're just like, look, stop. Just keep. I think that as a life of the party, they just all these hopeful messages that you keep communicating is naturally using your natural gift to resolve this conflict. You say, hey, look, y'all, you gonna find it. Just keep working on yourself, okay? Find somebody that inspires you to work on yourself, okay? Instead of finding somebody out of desperation, okay? Get over your body image issues. Get over your trust issues with the Page of Swords. Yeah. Some of these people, though, I think that they have already lost hope in life, though, okay? Or they've lost hope in the relationship with you, especially if these are just not like, if these are people who have done something, okay, where there was a conflict, and they know they lost hope in the relationship because you feel like they've lost so much trust with you, okay? Something where somebody here has lost hope because of you, okay? I don't know who this is. This feels like a female. This doesn't feel like, I don't know, this feels like someone who wanted they want your heart, okay? I don't know if they want your heart in a romantic way, though. They just want to have, like, they're very, very envious of your spirit, these children, okay? And they're so discouraged and troubled already. They don't have hope in their life, okay? And some of them, they aspire to have a work of art like yours. They aspire to have, I don't know, they want your emotional realm. This is like something about your heart and your water element. These people have been conflicting with you to try to steal emotions, okay? Or to try to steal like your heart's emotions. They know that you're highly sensitive and empathetic and compassionate and connected to all that there is. So a lot of them, they will try to mirror your heart, okay, by stealing your art. If they copy you or they knock off some piece of your art, that's really just them trying to, desperate to look like they have the same kind of intimacy that you have, to look like they have the same kind of artwork that you have, the same kind of status that you have, but you're literally an empire getting married. And some of them, they think that they have a relationship with your partner. Some of them think that these could be people that you don't even know. They thought that they had a relationship with your partner, or they thought that they had an intimacy with your partner, and then they found out that your partner has been, that you have been the one getting your partner's D. You're the one getting the children from this person. You're the one that has this person's heart on lock, y'all. Some of them have been in a wishful thinking, and then when they met you, they totally lost hope because they realized that you were on lock, okay? That this person was on lock, that you had this person's heart, and that they were just something that they were exploring, that they were just trying to achieve compassion and empathy for these people, but they really were not like into them. I think that started a conflict, right? I think that may have started a conflict, third parties that they were just exploring because they were having internal struggles about their D or something like that. But they see that they've, resolved their conflict about sex and you having other partners and pushing the third parties out. And I think that something that you've done recently as well, where you gather information, or they just see you as the life of the party and they know that you have the crown on lock, and so you literally just made them lose hope in life. Okay, so just, it's no use in you trying to copy artwork or you trying to mirror your heart. Like, that's so strange. They'll try to act like they're having the same emotional experiences as you. Like, they'll try to act like some of them, they started even like expressing music about your person, or they started sharing music about your person, or trying to like they tried to get their body validated by your person by like trying to express emotions or music for this person, and they were just totally delusional. That was they don't have a connection or intimacy. Okay, you and your partner just see them as children, like something where you and your partner see them as children, and they just were conflicting because they were trying to have the intimacy, or they were just projecting. They were inappropriate family, they were inappropriate, they were desperate looking for union. Okay, this could be you or your partner. I think that both of you guys are sending rejections, and it's like seeing you guys together made them lose hope. And I think that they have been so desperate to try to like be with y'all. Like, this is happening to both of y'all. It's not just them or you. It's literally where both of you guys, since coming into this deep intimacy and finding safety and security with one another, all these other relationships have been people who have been like dying for intimacy like this, and so they keep projecting your image or trying to copy off your artwork, or they have a delusional rapport that they're having an intimacy with your partner or you, and you're like, you're not having an intimacy. We just see y'all as children that need help. Like, we just see y'all as discouraged and troubled children. They keep doing something inappropriate when it's clear that it's not a fit for you. Okay, it's like you're not, like, something that you've done to reload have like put an ending to a lot of these relationships, and they they lost hope and their resentment grew, and they had no choice but to resolve this conflict, because it's like you're not like, stop doing this delusional thing. Like, some of them might have even been sharing music and that has been like expressing love or intimacy, or just like they literally think that they're in love and they're not. They're just children that you're helping or something like that. Something where they think that they're in love, friend. And this is very discouraging and troubling, because this person's heart is on lock. They were nowhere in that direction, y'all. Okay. And I think that all of what they've been doing, has, I think by now you've communicated so many hopeful messages that is helping them resolve their conflict, but they don't have, I think that they've lost hope in having intimacy, or have lost hope in having, being a part of your empire, because they created too many feelings of mistrust with all this inappropriate behavior that they were doing out of desperation, because they were so discouraged and troubled and wanting to look like they were having intimacy so bad that they were trying to like steal water, or they were trying to steal like emotional realm from you. And it was like you and your partner are looking at them like, We don't have, no, it's not no, it's not what we don't feel the same way or something like that. Y'all, we're not feeling the same way. You were just trying to achieve compassion and empathy, and a lot of these relationships are over because these people have too much internal struggle and cannot evolve beyond this inappropriate behavior. They let too many rejection issues and abandonment issues from when they were a child stifle their maturation, and they keep doing they keep acting from some type of internal struggle with you and not evolving, and there's a big delay. Okay, I think, to try to help these people, yeah, the Four of Cups, right? You guys, I think that's something that these children have been doing, or that these people who are outside of this intimate relationship, they really want to have intimacy, and it is like they want to have intimacy, and they feel like it's both of you guys have these third parties that feel like they were just the unhealed energies that you explored to achieve compassion and empathy, and so they can't evolve they can't evolve, beyond, they can't come out, like, I don't know, they can't resolve to the point where, like, I don't know, they can't resolve all the way. Or some of them have to leave the party, friends. Some of them have to leave the party. Okay, some of them are getting banned because they have been delayed, and we don't think that they will have, that they're appropriate. Some of them, you consider this to be sexual harassment or some type of harassment. You consider this to be slander and libel in the workplace. Some of you guys, you have just seen that they have not been able to mature, and that means that by this point we've communicated enough hopeful messages to you, and we're no longer interested in communicating with you. Okay, so some of these people have to leave the party, and that is the conflict resolution. Okay, so we're bored with their emotional stagnation. Okay, Ten of Swords reverse. They just feel like they cannot move forward, and so they just linger around. Okay, they've lost hope and everything. Okay, they've lost hope. It's like, and it's sad that that it was you that made them lose hope. I'm hearing something where your relationship or your intimacy or your art, made them have resentment and have an internal struggle where they cannot have a harmonious relationship. And especially with the Seven of Swords showing out in the reverse, they were definitely strategizing to mimic your heart and your art. Okay, your art is your heart. Okay, and so these people, I think that you've been able to achieve compassion and empathy for them, but their mirroring of your image kept, like, I don't know, it perpetuated this person's internal struggle of a fear of intimacy as well. Okay, something where they went to project your dreams onto people less fortunate, or they went to go project your dreams because they were truly having internal struggle about something from their inner child issues. Maybe this is organ inferiorities, or some other kind of rejection or abandonment issue that was not because of you, but a projection from their past. And they see that this, like, some of you guys, these were third parties on both ends that reflected your inner struggle and you projecting your dreams, but they were ultimately just relationships that came to a complete standstill, relationships that you lost hope in, or relationships where you realized that they were just strategizing to mirror or to project the one that they thought that you wanted. And that's for both of you. Okay, and you're like, okay, those were just internal struggles, and let me face my intimacy issues and accomplish my dream. Okay, yeah, these conventions, these people are literally just conventions. With the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, they're just the Chariot in the reverse. They're just people whose anger and frustration got out of control, out of an internal struggle. Okay, and they see that you have literally just like lost hope in them, that you're apathetic towards them because of this big delay, or something like that. And the Six of Cups. Okay, yeah, I think that, yeah, this is just definitely, it's like true, you have like you are the Six of Cups with this person, especially if this is your partner. You guys are, this is a cycle of healing something immature. But I'm also getting that these are both of you guys as third parties that have been strategizing to steal your art, okay? Or some other type of, even if these are not romantic third parties, because I definitely see that both of you see these, like both your partners, you see them as children, or you see them as really immature people. And it's because you guys have been an empire together. So all of these other people strategizing to mimic your art, to knock you off, to dupe, to try to steal, you know, emotions, or they were literally in a wishful thinking to think that they were in a relationship with your partner, okay? And this was just like a conventional thing that they did that showed their internal struggle, and that they were super immature and seeking, like, to seek family with your inappropriate, like with your partner is super inappropriate. It's like something where they were like seeking a position, or they thought that they were trying to come have intimacy, like, and it was really an internal struggle. It was really because they couldn't, like, they can't find their own intimacy, and they lost hope in their lives, and so they're just codependent on your relationship for emotions, like something where these children are so delusional, y'all. I don't know, they just like, they might be grown, people, but their heart, they don't have intimacy, and they don't have a big heart, or they don't have artwork, okay? And so some of them, they literally were codependent on your relationship, and it's like they thought that they were having intimacy with your partner. Some of them, like, they may have even started creating things for them, making up art for them, making music for them or something like that. And these people, y'all, they're not the empire, okay? And so they know that they were just the emotional immaturity that you guys are just working on to achieve compassion and empathy, and to release the resistance of intimacy within your relationship. These people have literally gotten out of control and angry, and this is so inappropriate. So that means that the relationships are over, and they feel so, they were not able to evolve their emotional immaturity. They had too many feelings of rejection and abandonment that stifled their maturation. They couldn't have a mature relationship with you and your empire, okay? They were too discouraged and troubled, and so they kept acting out of this internal struggle, and just like truly seeing your empire is so triggering and heartbreaking. Seeing your soulmate connection is so triggering and heartbreaking. I think that this delay is just you trying to resolve the conflict peacefully for what they did in this marketplace to steal your artwork and project your image, when they were not. Like, I think that like, it created feelings of mistrust, because it looked like they were trying to steal sex, money, and power, but they really could not mimic your heart anymore. They were not the ones that had the empire. They were not the ones that had the soul. These were only third parties that reflected both of your guys' inner struggle and inner child issues, and like emotional immaturity. If I'm repeating myself, I'm trying to draw the channeling together so that you can draw the insight, okay? So I think that what happened is that, like, there were internal struggles. Your person had internal struggles about their body image or inferiority. You had internal struggles as well, being lonely, lacking connection, and just trying to feel connected to everything that you encounter, and you have. And this has led to the creation of art and culture. And so all of these social connections around are just conventional losers that did not succeed in accomplishing in life. And a lot of people do see a soulmate relationship or intimate relationship, a marriage, a partnership as a goal in life, and could feel like a big failure in not having achieved that. And you achieving that has made them get out of control, and this is just a conventional thing that you expected to happen, okay? And so those relationships are over because you're drawing the line, and if they haven't evolved by this point, that means that they're banned from the empire and organization, okay, for being out of control. and emotionally stagnant. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, friends. Let me know how this resonates. About the juicy morning tea is that they were not the ones that got the heart, they were not the ones that got the art, they were not the ones that got the empire. They were just the internal struggle that helped us achieve compassion and empathy. They were just the people that we were projecting our dreams onto. They were just the people that were projecting our image to confuse us about who our partner and who our intimate relationship really was, right? Those were just people that we met when we were children, when we were discouraged and troubled. But we're grown now and we have a soulmate relationship and we have an empire and we're resolving our conflict and we are moving beyond this emotional immaturity that have been stifling our maturation. I love you guys so much. Let me know how this resonates. Welcome back to another day of Vlogmas, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.